Hello, I'm Panos Kotzathanasis, and this is ASEAN Movie Pulse Interviews. Today I'm here with Amanda Nell Eu, whose film Tiger Stripes is currently screening in Neuchatel. How are you, Amanda?
Good, thank you. Fine.
Okay, great. So, first question, you got an award in Cannes, and then the film is screening all over the world. Did you expect this success, and how do you feel about it?
No, this is so unexpected. And yeah, we're very, very happy. Like, of course, getting all this recognition has been incredible. And also, like, I'm so grateful that, people can see this film, they get it, they feel it, and it's amazing to kind of see different people from all over the world find a way to relate to this story. So it's been incredible. Yeah.
Mhm. But have you ever thought about why? Why is it so popular, let's say, the film?
I know, I never thought why. I think usually when I make films, it's just, something that is very true to me, that I feel very emotionally like strong about. And then just to tell it as best as I can, with like a lot of my personality, I guess. But yeah, and then once it's done, you never know what's gonna happen. You can't guess what the audience reaction is or anything. So yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. And what the protagonist experiences with your body? Okay, not the monster part, but the rest of it. How close was it to your own experience, let's say?
I mean, of course the emotions are very close to my own experience. And when I was younger, I really did fear my own body, and quite an aggressive manner. Like, I would like find new things in my body that I really hate, and I'd try to like rip it off or punch it away, or, like just do really strange things to myself so that it wouldn't change. And also, dealing with like things that you learn to dislike, whether it's like strange like bad skin, or maybe like certain marks on your body. And so that part is very, very true to my own experience, and it was just to make it more fantastical really.
Okay, okay. But and I hope I'm not getting too personal, but the protagonist, like, she does not have any help from her mother in particular regarding these changes. So was that the same for you? Like, you felt that way, that you are alone, let's say?
No, not
No.
at all. Like, but I think for me, because I lived very, very far away from my parents when I was growing up, like across the world, actually. So I was in this very like girly world where it really was a world for, teenage girls, and the adults were just a bit separate. So that was something that, is very real, and yeah, easy for me to kind of understand and talk about. But yeah, no, the mother relationship in Tiger Stripes is more inspired by the ugly duckling, and the relationship between, the mother duck and her duckling, who's actually a swan, of course.
Mhm, mhm. Uh, but why turn her into a monster? Why go that far, let's say?
Yes, why? Because I love monsters. I think monsters are really cool. Uh, I relate to monsters more than I relate to a lot of society, I think. So I think they're, yeah, misunderstood, and like just playing on this idea of what is monstrosity, what is beauty. Society has an expectation of what is beautiful, what is acceptable, and what if you don't fit in that box? Are you labeled as a monster? Are you labeled as ugly? So then I'm like, you know what? Let's embrace this ugliness or this monstrosity, and celebrate it, because yeah, I think a lot of people sometimes feel like they don't fit in as well, and could feel like a monster. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Would you say that people in Malaysia believe in the supernatural, though, in general?
Yes, I think in our culture, the supernatural folklore is very much within our community and within our everyday lives. I mean, even an example, whenever we shoot films, especially in Tiger Stripes, I start getting very superstitious, and you know, we do things where we respect the jungle. No one's allowed to, you know, use the toilet in in the nature. We have like separate toilets. So it's like it is part of our everyday lives and our beliefs. So that's always quite interesting for me when I'm telling stories. Yeah.
Mhm. But how is that combined with Islam and the whole Sharia law, which is essentially the opposite, I guess, in some ways?
Yeah, that's the color that we have in Malaysia. You know, there's of course religion, but then we have very old stories and folklores. And I think many cultures have that where it's this mix and you know, there is no black and white, there is no fine line or, you know, a line that's drawn between belief and storytelling and religion. So I think that's why what makes everything very colorful, I think, in my opinion.
Mhm, mhm. But did you have any trouble with censorship with such a movie? I don't know, because no.
No, I mean currently no problem. Of course we are looking to distribute the film in Malaysia as well, so we will see what the next steps are. But making the film, there was no problem.
Mhm, mhm. And in general, in a school, I don't know, did you attend a school like the protagonists do, an Islamic school, I mean?
The school is actually not an Islamic school in the film. It's a
Ah,
normal school in Malaysia, but I actually did not attend a school like that. So I grew up in the UK, so it's very,
okay.
very different. But yeah, we did a lot of research for the film and you know went to many schools, like even uh listening to the speeches and everything incognito, and also talking to many of the young talents and young people in Malaysia.
Mhm, mhm. But there is a kind of conformity there in the school. I mean, you cannot really stand out, you would say.
I think even for me, when I grew up in UK, it's always been a conformity. I think schools try to make children, I mean, at least from my experience of schools and my research of schools, it's always about conformity. And even as a young person, you never want to stand out. You know, you always want to be the same like your friends, because if you stand out, then you could get serious rejection. And yeah, I think for young people, you know, the minute they stand out, they could either be celebrated or totally attacked. And that's quite scary sometimes.
Mhm, mhm. And I wanted to ask something else. The clothes that the girls are wearing, this, like, I don't know, they are called burqas in Malaysia. I'm not sure.
In Malaysia, we call it tudong, but then, yeah, in English, it's hijab. Yeah.
Ah, hijab. Okay, but they are different colors. Does this symbolize something, or is they can wear whatever color they want? I don't know.
No, the different colors symbolize different positions in school. So obviously Farah, the character, she wears a blue one, which symbolizes a prefect, so like a class leader, school leader, and they are, you know, working for the teachers. So it's this kind of like also playing on this role of authority that you know they give students. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. And there is one scene in the movie which I thought it was a bit funny, but I'm not sure if it's real, because in the beginning, where the headmistress talks to the students, she tells them, "Look at the grades the Chinese students are getting and what you are doing." What's that? Is that the case in reality in Malaysia? I don't know.
Yeah, it is quite funny. I think it's quite funny for even Malaysians to hear this, but it's a very common thing that, you know, schools say or adults say, which I find very weird and, you know, makes the children kind of distance themselves and talk about differences even more. So yeah, it was just something that I plucked from a real speech from a teacher that I was listening to. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And can you tell me a bit about the casting, particularly the two main protagonists?
I'm so proud of my girls. I think they're incredible. We went through a very long casting process during lockdown. So initially, I wanted to do open casting in many schools, but of course, with pandemic, we couldn't do that. So we ended up making adverts on Instagram for an open call, and so the girls would, you know, fill up a form and anyone interested. And so we met over 200 girls, and from there we cut it down to about 30 girls, and we started doing a lot of acting workshops. Before I even casted any of the girls, it was just to create this space where there was full of trust and respect for each other, and there was a very safe space for them to really express themselves freely. So, like, you know, in the film, Zaffan is trying her best to express herself freely in her true way. And so we were trying to create that space also in rehearsals and in the acting workshops. And I felt that that was very, very useful just to, you know, see everyone open up and support each other. And so it was after the workshops that I started seeing who was right for which character and ended up with these beautiful girls on screen.
And in the end, was she comfortable playing the monster? Because she acts like a beast on occasion, which shouldn't be very easy to do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Zafreen is an incredibly accomplished dancer, and she's also a martial artist. So she is a very physical girl. I mean, what I love about her personality is she's very courageous, but like she has fears, but she kind of goes towards her fears head on to overcome them. And I thought that was such a beautiful quality for her. So yeah, she had many adventures while making the film. Yeah.
Okay. And about the girl who plays Farah, because I have to say I was even more impressed with her because she's a great villain, essentially. Yeah.
Yes, I love her too. Deene is like an incredible actress. I mean, from day one when I met her, her portrayal of Farah is just so sinister because the way she does it is in an introverted way. You know, like you would expect the mean girl to be extremely extrovert and like loving the attention, but this girl does it where everything is inside and you're never sure why she does it and she has a lot of fear doing it, which I found very beautiful. It was like her attacks to Zaffan, there was this kind of like deep fear inside her. And yeah, I love them. And what's really amazing is that Zafreen and Deene offset, they are very, very close and they became very good friends and were very, very supportive of each other. You know, even in their different scenes, they would come on set and support each other like with me. Yeah.
But despite Farah's behavior, Zafa cannot let her go, let's say, for the majority of the film. Why do you think that is? Let's say it's like Farah is really awful to Zafa from the beginning, but she cannot say to her, "Okay, leave me alone. I don't want to hang out with you anymore." She just keep at it. So why is that?
Well, I think that's just the complicated relationship between best friends and young people. And I mean, I think even now as an adult, there are very complicated friendships that you have. But I'm always interested with this idea of, you know, female friendships where there is so much love for each other, but then the love turns to admiration, and then the admiration turns into jealousy, and then the jealousy turns into hatred, and it's all like all happening at the same time. So I think that's the strange thing about friendships. So it's actually quite hilarious. I was talking to Zafreen the other day, and you know, I was talking about who are you closest to, and she was like, definitely Deene, the girl who plays Farah. And she's like, we hate each other, but I know that we love each other forever. I'm like, oh, this is like happening offset as well. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And can you tell me a bit about the cinematography in the film in general, what you wanted to do in the visual aspect?
Yeah, so I worked with, of course, my DOP, Jim Ferrer, and we were looking at especially this Japanese horror film from the 70s called Houseu. I really love that film. I think it's crazy, it's bizarre, and so a lot of the imagery, especially the colors and this kind of hazy effect, vintage effect, was something that that I wanted to achieve. And also another thing we were looking at was like, you know, every time we were in the jungle, and the jungle is incredibly beautiful on its own, and it was just to push that beauty to the point where there's a line where it almost looks fake and almost like a set. So that was always very fun, you know, playing with these ideas with Jimmy. And always just being very flexible and being playful about the whole thing, and never being afraid of going crazy. Having crazy lights, like suddenly in the jungle there's like a crazy orange light, and it's not realistic, but it works for us in this kind of bizarre girl tiger world that we're making.
Have you also watched some of the old Malaysian horrors of the 70s for reference? Because I found some similarities there.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm also paying homage to, these old horrors, especially Revenge of the Pontianak, and just looking at how the creatures were made, how they're designed. This was something that I wanted to pay homage to. I didn't want this beautiful furry tiger at the end. It was like very bizarre, very rooted in our jungle, but also rooted in our folklore, so that she looks weird. She looks very, very strange, and yeah, not what you expect, in terms of the creature and the monster. Yeah.
And can you tell me a bit about the scene with the tents in the jungle, which I found the most impressive visually, with the colors and whatnot? How did
Yeah,
you
it was
shoot that?
very fun. I mean, that was just, of course, when I wrote the script, I wanted to have, this kind of idea of camping. It's and like this feeling of girl students when you're camping and what you're listening to outside, and then the jungle is Zaffan's world, and so they're entering the world of this jungle. But yeah, the tents it ended up being organic, where we had all these tents, and when we put the lights inside it just looked very strange and fun. But yeah, that was on the day itself that we decided this would happen.
So, and in general, how was the experience of shooting in the jungle? Okay, you said it was fun, but was it also difficult on occasion? It doesn't seem like an ideal setting. I don't know, wild animals, I don't know, ants, I don't know what else is there.
Well, I love going to the jungle. I go like hiking like once a week at least.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I mean, we had leeches and stuff, but we're used to it. I think the jungle was actually much easier to shoot compared to the interiors. Just because it's such a beautiful location, so we all just feel a lot more relaxed and kind of admiring the beauty. I mean, for example, the waterfall is very tricky to shoot because we have water, and we're putting the camera on like platforms and trying to balance and get the right shot. But at the same time, we would have a break and everyone would have lunch together. We'd put a table in the water and we'd all be eating lunch inside the waterfall and swimming in the waterfall. So yeah, it's like challenging shoot, but also really appreciating the beauty that is, nature.
And what is your opinion of the Malaysian cinema at the moment? What do you think is going on there?
I think that it's definitely evolving. I think a lot more people are looking into the importance of production value, and also the importance of marketing and promotion. So I have noticed, like, since post-pandemic, films have been doing very well domestically, and people are going to watch local films in Malaysia, which is amazing, because usually you'd always expect everyone to just go to Marvel movies and things like that. So there seems to be a lot of support for local films. And yeah, I mean, hopefully, we can improve and even expand the market internationally, and start working in terms of international co-productions as well.
Okay, and the last question, I guess, future projects, what are you working on next?
So yes, I have been researching a lot, like reading a lot of books and everything. But I want to do a historical film that's set in 1930s colonial Malaya. So it's right before World War II, and it deals with themes of motherhood this time, expectations of being a wife, kind of talking about Confucian structure and Confucian beliefs. So yeah, it's around that kind of, again, very feminine. It will definitely be very bloody and shocking and unexpected as well. So
Okay.
I'm not letting that go. Yeah.
Okay, we are supposed to expect some horror then again, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Great. I guess that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Have a nice day and talk to you later. Okay. Bye.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.